Hey, Tubes. Jonathan was wrong here. Truth and budget. Sorry, it's been a minute, right? Sometimes I forget how to do this stuff. Anyway, I got some nice, weird blue lighting for you. It almost looks like I got some eyeshadow or something going. Anyway, um, I'm sorry. It's kind of that's better. It's a little distracting. I could just shut the TV off, but it's supplying a little bit of ambient light. Blah blah blah. So anyway, world's going nuts. Um, not in the usual social movement sort of way, in the active sort of way. Uh, so I keep seeing things about road rage, people acting crazy, blah blah blah, and I'm seeing it. I live in Massachusetts. It's I'm sorry. Whenever I hit the blue light, it's so distracting. It goes right to here. It looks like I got makeup on. Um, Gosh, do you remember like a few years ago when all the truthers were at each other's throats, being like, trying to call each other out as trannies and stuff? Do you remember that? That was funny. You remember people trying to say that I was a tranny? It's like, my shoulders are like 5 feet apart. Anyway, with that, this massive brow bone thing I got going on here, super feminine. Anyway, um, oh gosh, the simpler times when everyone was accusing each other of. Doesn't it look like I have makeup? It's so distracting. I'm just gonna move. I'm sorry. Goodness gracious. All right. Those were simpler times, weren't they? When we had so little to talk about that, we started cannibalizing each other. And I recently thought of something. They kind of won, and as far as the great silencing, I mean, there's still a few channels doing it. Um, I never notice I'm thirsty until I start talking. Get a good view of my very feminine forehead. So feminine. Um, but yeah, I think they succeeded through demonetization, a word I have so much trouble with, and censorship. I know I shouldn't drink energy drinks, blah blah blah. But think about how many channels have like gone away. Think about how many people like aren't around anymore. I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes you don't remember people until you're reminded, so to speak. Um, you know, Time marches on and all that, but it used to be a much more diverse community for sure. We actually had different sects. Different truther. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to lean forward and look bluish purple. Um, there used to be so many of us that we had different groups and that were into different things that like I was talking about earlier. They people that just did tranny stuff. That was, like I said, that was a really big that was a big thing in the truth movement a few years ago. Big thing. Everyone was a tranny. Um, a lot of them are. Brie Larson has some big feet. I In one of my news feeds, they're just trying to force Brie Larson down people's throat as being sexy. She clearly isn't. Also, one of the major parts about being sexy is that it comes from within. There's an attitude and an air that comes with being sexy. You making yourself look sexy does not make you sexy. Using chat filters to make yourself look like a Kardashian does not make you look sexy. It makes you look like someone using a chat filter. But anyway, one of the things lost on modern society is the actual gravitas. Having the oomph behind things rather than it just being a shallow veneer. Just a paint job. But anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. But anyway, getting back on track about the fragmented truth movement, making it not economically viable, to sit around and scour the news, scour the internet, make videos. I should have paused it or something. I had like a half a second. I could have paused it. I'm so sorry. But anyway, it's just so many channels are just can't afford. As an adult, you just cannot set aside that much time every day to do something that is not making you any money. It's a sad truth. I have a super old video, saying about these channels being shut down for censorship and stuff. And this was the old days when the censorship worked a little differently. If you weren't monetized or a partner or whatever, you can get away with a lot more. You sort of flew under the radar. You were under more scrutiny if you were a monetized or a partner. Now everyone's scrutinized, so that's a kind of a non-point. But my whole thing was like, just get the message out. While I still agree with me saying that, after having had spent many years now within the not just doing what I do, but within the YouTube culture itself, it takes a lot of effort for these actual legitimate channels to make videos, edit everything. It's a lot of work. Especially if you're doing it alone. All these there's all these channels that have 16 editors and stuff, and it's like, I don't know. That's like a lot of things just seem like a racket. It's like, okay, you're on YouTube and you have a team of 30 people. How the hell does that work? You're a YouTube channel. How are you bringing in that much revenue? How is Nick Avocado worth millions? There's just a lot of this stuff doesn't add up. Honestly, not even saying anything negative about him. I kind of like him. Out of all the lolcows, he's one of the least offensive. I had to think about it. It's like, that probably sounds strange out of context, but when you look into the lolcows, they're all kind of gnarly. Off topic, I've been kind of on a lolcow. That is LOL cow. Like a cash cow is something that will bring in money. A lolcow is a sad, sorry individual that will bring in laughter. It's basically the modern version of what camp used to be. I'm not sure if I've discussed this or not. Anyway, it's an interesting look into the modern internet culture. A lot of these things I research, obviously it's something I find interesting, but it's a insight into something that a lot of people within the truth, so many bunny ears tonight, community don't really pay attention to. But it's a slice of life. It's a microcosm. These people are like I said, I basically already said it. It's a microcosm. These people are a slice of what happens when one of these people get a lot of attention. and a lot of them are just not mentally and emotionally equipped. A lot of them are autistic. One of the terrifying, and I don't want this to be insulting to anyone with autism. I have people close to me with autism, but it's one of the things I've noticed with autism is it's there. A lot of them seem to be on the borderline personality spectrum. That spectrum also, where their moral systems not ingrained. I've noticed a lot of people with autism just prefer to let whoever. I just realized my phone might be dying. Let whoever's in charge, call the shots, make all the decisions. If this, if scientists say this, then this is fact. You see a lot of people with Asperger's and stuff when they rattle off this information, it's gospel to them. They don't have a internal logic system. They don't have an internal moral system. Once again, this isn't everyone with autism. It's a very broad spectrum. It's just something I've noticed personally. They don't make these things up themselves, and they don't come to their own conclusions. They have someone they think is the authority, and that's where they get their information. That's where they get their morals. And when your morals are that mutable, are that protean, that are that they can change and shift, and like, oh, it's okay to do this now. When you have that mindset of, oh, they said it's okay to do this now, that's obviously, we know that's not the right mindset. That's a scary, terrible, horrible mindset. You never want to just have people tell you what's right and wrong. And I know there's going to be people in the peanut gallery like, oh, that's what the Bible does. Yes and no. What the thing? This is one of those things when people are like, oh, being a Christian, it's so so repressive, so this, so that. The things we're not allowed to do are bad things. They're things you shouldn't want to do anyway. You shouldn't want to lie to people. You shouldn't want to hurt anyone. You shouldn't want to steal from anyone. You shouldn't want to destroy yourself or your environment or everything around you. You should not want to be something that is horrible for other people and yourself. That's not, it's not a matter of, we have to do what religion tells us to do type of thing. It's obvious right and wrong. Why would you not thank God? Why would you not want to thank God? Like being grateful is one of the major things. And it's that as much as I bitch and moan, I'm still grateful for, everything that is good, as you should be. But when you don't have like a sense of right, wrong, logic, reality, self, when you don't have these things ingrained in you, you're just gonna do whatever you're told by whoever's in charge. I'd have a really hard time wording that, and it's just one of the recurring things. And why this is relevant is because like one in like 14, it's not 1 in 14, but it's like 1 in 40, or I don't know, it's way too high. There is a ridiculous amount of kids nowadays being born with autism. It's super, super high. It's super high. And it's just, like, it used to be like, whoa, this is weird. So many people with autism. Now it's just socially acceptable. It's just, autistic moment. It's almost like people want to have Asperger's or something as an excuse. It's like I see a lot of these autistic locals use their autism as an excuse all the time. I'm sorry, I'm autistic. I was, that was very autistic of me. They use it as an excuse rather than being self-reflective and being, hey, I made a mistake. They go, hey, I was being autistic. And when you say that, That's you. That's you basically saying, I'm going to do it again. What I just did, I have no control over it. Oops, sorry, I'm going to do it again. And that's not the right mindset. You know, if they're intelligent enough to memorize all this information, they should be intelligent enough to know that they're in the wrong. But you find that a lot of them just, they'll do whatever mental gymnastics they need to, stay in the right. And if literally it gets to the point where, like, 20, 30, 40% of the population is like that, it doesn't need to be half. It doesn't need to have to be a majority. If a large enough percentage of people are that easily controlled, that easily manipulated, and just completely lacking of morals, it doesn't matter, because the whatever, 80, 70% left of, people that aren't, in that mindset will not be unified. That's one of those things with, like, statistics. It's like, oh, it's only a minority. Well, here's the thing: if everyone else is splintered, that minority is now, a majority. Divide and conquer means you divide your enemy and then you conquer them. If you're a splintered force, you could be picked off. So, it doesn't matter if, like, less than 5% of the population is, trans or whatever they want to call themselves. Just like less than 0.5%. If they're unified and if they're vocal and no one else gives enough of a shit to, like, take a stand against it, they will succeed. And that's how it's going to work. They don't need to get everyone on their side. They need to get enough people on their side and unified and thinking the same and doing the same, that minority will be the majority against the fragmented masses. That's why this stuff is dangerous. The 20-80 rule. If 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work, you're not going to miss that 80% that's only pulling the 20. But usually in those things, there's a dichotomy, blah blah blah, non-point. But back to the craziness. Like, there's definitely something going on with everyone just flipping out, everyone acting crazy, everyone being violent and impulsive. Is it something that they're putting out there? Is it have we let in another spirit? We already had we have the spirit of dissent, we have the spirit of the Jezebel spirit, we have the Antichrist spirit. Now we have a spirit of violence moving in. There's just something overtaking people, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's something in the air, or maybe there's another great, powerful old spirit, one of those collective, massive fog spirits. Maybe I don't know, but it's at very least all across America, hands across America. Everyone's going nuts. And like I said, I about once a week, I sometimes twice a week, non-point. I don't know why I bother saying stuff like that. It's like, as I'm saying it, it's like, why am I bothering saying this? Doesn't matter. I'll be pumping gas, part-time. Got to pay them bills. And though the 8 hours I spend on a Route 18, it's a nightmare zone. It's constant honking, just people just screeching, honking, ambulances, fire trucks, police vehicles, all day, every day. And when you go out driving, there's cars out all day, every day. Like, Do you remember driving at night and it, like they'd be kind of slow. You'd see a car every now and again. Like maybe you get like out of nowhere you get some car behind you and you'd be like, oh, and you'd have to let them pass you if you wanted to get back to doing your own thing because they really got to get somewhere at 2 in the morning. Now it's just all day, every day, cars everywhere, constantly. I don't know if it's if they're all Uber and Lyft drivers or the food delivery because I know that's a big thing, but clogging up the road with all these people is a nightmare. It's a nightmare out there, and it sucks. And like electronic cars are not going to fix any of it. Other than the fact that you're riding around on a bomb, like you're riding around on an explosive device. It just said something. I might be running out of time. I don't know. Something flashed at the bottom, like some sort of warning. I don't know. Now I feel like the video is gonna cut out at some point out of nowhere, so I don't want to get into anything. Somehow I'm already up to 20 minutes anyway. Missed you guys. I've been busy at work and family stuff and a lot of stuff going on. I don't have any energy for anything other than stuff I have to do. Like gun to my head have to. I don't want anyone being insulted about like like I don't know. I love you guys. You should know I love you guys. I hope you know I love you. I know I'm not always around and I don't always say it, but I am thinking about you guys. But I don't know. Now that I'm talking, I feel like I have a lot more stuff to get into. But like I said, I'm very concerned I'm going to get cut off, and I'm already at 20 minutes. Anyway, I don't know. It's about it. It's about it. Proxy wars heating up, which is great. They'll be great. I don't like one of the things about war. Just when you really think about it, just not making any sense whatsoever, and it just more than likely being like 100% bullshit. Is what's the point of government? What's the point of government if countries still go to war? What is the point? Like, their job should be, hey, there's an issue. I'm a diplomat. You're a diplomat. Let's get together and let's work this out. There should never, in a real world, in any reality, come a time where two nations of normal human beings, of normal people, should just decide to just all kill each other. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, oh, we're going to go to war with Russia. What does that mean to you? What is us going to war with Russia mean to you? Do you want more Russians to die than Americans to die? Do you just want Russians to die? I don't think anyone should die. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up whatsoever. There's no scenario where people can't come together, come into a room and say, hey, I just got another warning. This is what we want. This is what we need. What do you want? What do you need? Let's meet in the middle. There's no way in a real world in this modern age that could not happen. It doesn't make sense. We're not tribes. We're not warring states. With this, we're far beyond that. In an advanced modern society, there's no room for war. It doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do it. You keep hearing, oh, the military-industrial complex. They make money. They make money. Rebuilding a city costs somebody money. Yes, Halliburton might make millions of dollars, but that money is not getting poofed. It's not magic. It comes from somewhere. It's like one big piece of clay. If you want to build up something else somewhere, you only have one piece of clay. It's coming from one part and going to the other. There's no you're not creating new wealth. No one's getting rich except the same people that have been rich. There's no, and other than the fact that money's not even real. It's not money's for poor people. It's not about making money. It's just none of it makes sense. You hear like with the whole scene thing. They're like, oh, it's about making money. It's about making money. No, on the lower levels, the doctors that are doing it, that are taking part in it, are getting kickbacks, and that's the incentive for them. They're making money. That's their incentive. The whole scheme is not about making money, because at the top they don't even use money. See what I'm saying? You can't go on about, oh, the Rothschilds will make so much money during the next war. All these ancient, crypto Jew families are going to make all this money during, on the next conflict. No, they don't even use money. They're feeding the chaos. They're actually financing it. When they're loaning money to both sides, they're financing the war. It's not about them making money back. It's about them financing the most brutal conflict they can finance. That's why they fund both sides. It's not about making money. On the lower level, yes, it is. Because you need the useful idiots. You need the people that are doing the right thing. You need the people that are taking kickbacks. And then you need the smallest percentage of people in charge running it all who actually know what's going on. If everything was pure, obvious corruption, we would know it was pure, obvious corruption. If the people that were actually in charge were openly running things, we would have questions for them. Things are set up the way that they are purposefully. There is no failure in government. There is no failure in economy. Things are running exactly how they are supposed to. Anyway, I think this is a good time to stop before I'm like cut off mid-sentence. As usual, my videos don't get any good until about 2/3 plus into the way into them, and I don't think most of my viewers get that far into the video. Every now and again, I'll do a, hey, if you watch this far, because I see other channels do that. Derp derp derp. No one ever derp derp derps. So if you made it this far, God bless you. I hope you learned something. Not saying I'm smarter than anybody. I'm just, I have a, a lot of times you can't see the forest from the trees. I can see for miles. Anyway, love you guys so much. Have a beautiful night, day. I should get in the... There we go. Hi, it's me. I'm not weird blue person. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. God bless you.